Hey, welcome back. If you haven't watched our previous video on the application documents, please watch it. We'll put a link up here. So one of the biggest misconceptions that we see about making a visa application is that if you just put in all the documents that immigration asks for on the application form, you should be okay. That making a self-made application, doing it this way, is, well, it's possible, you can do it, but if you really want the application to succeed, it's not really the best strategy. Immigration New Zealand will tell you what basic documents you need. That's actually written on the application form. Or if you call them, they will actually tell you need a passport, you need an ID photo, you need a job offer. This is about the limit of what they will tell you. They usually don't go into specifics about your situation because they don't really want you to succeed in the application. And of course it takes a lot of time. And also immigration officers and the call centre people are not licensed advisors or lawyers. So when you're putting an application together, the basic documents prove that you meet certain criteria. So, for example, your passport proves that you are you. Your medical certificates prove that you are acceptable standard of health. Your police certificate proves that you have no criminal record. So these are the sort of the fundamental things which an application will absolutely fail on if they're not proved. But the application specific documents will prove other things that are also very important. Sometimes the other things that need to be proved are kind of simple things and they might just need a bit of a written explanation perhaps. But some things might be very tricky and they might need a lot of evidence. Depending on what you need to prove, you might need to provide a lot of evidence or maybe just one or two documents. So Immigration New Zealand's approach to visa applications is that they look at every application to see how they can decline it. After all, it's Immigration New Zealand's role to manage immigration into New Zealand. So they need to control, restrict, and generally manage who comes into New Zealand, who doesn't, who stays, who can work, who can't, all these sorts of things. So when they see an application, generally their first thoughts are, does this person meet the criteria for the visa? And should it be approved or should it be declined? And it's easier to start with should it be declined because if it triggers certain warnings, then you can decline it easily. Some things might trigger a warning quite quickly. For example, the country of citizenship of the applicant. Unfortunately, some countries are treated differently. People with certain immigration histories or work histories will be treated differently, and so you need to overcome this prejudice from the very start. If Immigration New Zealand have an initial prejudice for your application, you need to decide how you will deal with this and what extra information you need to provide. The burden of proof is with the applicant. Immigration New Zealand do not have to look for any extra information. And generally, they will not look for any extra information except when they are looking to decline your application. So we need to provide this with the application for it to do well. The type of information, or the type of evidence and the amount of evidence will really depend on your specific situation. Of course, giving too much evidence can be as bad as not giving enough, because if you over-justify something, immigration are going to ask why you're over-justifying it. It sounds suspicious. But it could also provide them with extra information that they didn't think of before. And they can then see, oh, this person has this extra thing. I'm going to look into this and find what else is bad because of this extra thing. So understanding, firstly, when you need to provide extra information, secondly, how much and what type of extra information documentation you need to provide with an application, is a skill that licensed professionals bring to the application. This value addedness is why it is important to get a professional to do the application, and this is why a licensed immigration advisor doesn't just fill out the application form and then send it in. In a typical application, we almost always need to ask for more information than the applicant has provided to us, and we'll also usually discard between 5 and 15% of documents that applications provide to us because they're just not specific to the application, or even they might be negative to the application as well. Now, overall, when Immigration New Zealand is really intent on declining as many applications as they can, it doesn't really make sense just to throw something together and submit it and just hope for the best. If you really need the visa, you really need to do it right. Thanks for watching. I hope this was informative. And if you have any questions or comments, just write a comment, or you can send us an email, of course. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.